it's Dr. Maria Rothenberger with the Miracles Happen Fertility Center, and this is your November Oracle reading. This is a really exciting and unique reading for me this month. I've never used this deck. I am using the Past Life Oracle deck by Dr. Brian Weiss and Dr. Doreen Virtue. And so we will be talking about how your past life memories could be affecting your month of November going forward. I just want to share something briefly before we get started. This is really interesting, and I want to be able to tie it to what you are experiencing or learning in this reading today. I just had an experience that blew me away. Over the last month or so, I've been having references to the Bible. Like somebody, for example, recently told me that, or to Christianity, somebody recently told me that Jesus was coming up in my energy system for like a growth period, like he was there to support me. I thought that was beautiful. If you don't know, I was raised Christian, but I don't consider myself Christian. I consider myself a student of all religions and belief systems. I'm really curious about how people move through their belief system and life given that belief system. And so it was lovely. But today, the third sign popped up, and I just want to tell you about this because it's like, oh my gosh, can it be more obvious? So I was meditating before this oracle reading like I normally do, and my guide, my Akashic Record guide, came in and said the word Deuteronomy. Now, I happen to know that Deuteronomy is a book in the Bible. I didn't know what that meant really, and I said, okay, thank you. I'm going to be looking at that later, and I didn't think much of it. So I pull the cards that I'm going to be pulling or talking about today for you, and I'm putting the stack back, and out pops this. Hello. I start cracking up laughing. I'm like, okay, I hear you. I need to be paying attention to biblical things. I need to be doing some research. I don't know yet what I'm supposed to be doing, but this is important apparently for my growth. Now, what does this mean for you? I want you to pay attention because sometimes these oracle readings or tarot readings don't quite resonate. And it's really important to just let it be what it is, but then ask the universe, okay, can you send me two more indications, two more signs that I need to be paying attention to this? And then look for them and see if they pop up. If not, okay, well, it was neither here nor there. That wasn't the right card for you or reading for you. But if they do pop up, then really begin to pay attention and meditate on what it is that you need to be being practical about in terms of that particular topic. Okay, with that, let's get started. Like always, choose card 1, 2, or 3, and you can skip to that part or watch this whole video. Okay, if you're card number 1, you have chosen finances. Now, this can mean one of two things, or both actually. But the two things that pop into my mind are literal finances. So if you're struggling financially, a past life experience could be that you were also struggling in some way, whether you were quite poor or destitute, or really wealthy and didn't know how to manage it, or had struggle because you had wealth, there were expectations of you, and so wealth isn't really desirable. Feel into your own situation and see what resonates with you. But if you are struggling in some way with finances for this month of November, and there's a big trigger to it, there could be a past life experience, a past life reason for this. So what you can do is to practice gratitude. A gratitude journal, a gratitude practice is so useful for feeling abundant and safe in your abundance. Feeling abundant means things outside of actual money too. And this is that second thing that I said pops into my awareness when I think about this, is that feeling abundant doesn't mean just like actual like paper and coin. It can mean feeling like you're able to receive gifts, that you're able to fill your life with things that create abundance. For example, I just purchased myself these dragon bloodstones. I'm obsessed. It's a rock and I'm feeling like abundant, like, oh my God, I got myself a present. It's just so great. It feels like I don't need much else. What you feel gratitude toward over and over and over, you start noticing other things too, by the way, when you start this practice, and then noticing how it feels safe in your body by calming your body, your nervous system, doing some breath work. Um, I even practice literally laying on the ground because the ground helps you feel really secure and supported. Practice gratitude, and what a month to do that, right? This is in the US, the month of Thanksgiving. So practice this all month. Feel expressing gratitude for the things that you already have in your life. Okay, if you've chosen card number 2, you've chosen communal living. Now, this could mean literally a past life where you lived in a large complex with a lot of people. This could be you were a nun or a monk or something in this respect, or you were living with a large group of people. Now, what that means for your present life is you are likely feeling quite alone. Like, I have to shoulder this burden all by myself. It's just me. And so, what I encourage you to do this month, to really focus on this month, is pulling in folks whom you trust to be your support system. What I run into a lot with folks who are, especially folks who are trying to build their family, is that we tend to be quite like go-getters, maybe even type A. I'm not type A anymore, but I definitely was. Someone who creates lists and checks off the lists and feels really satisfied when everything's checked off the list. And it's a feeling of, I got this. I can totally do this. But the downside of that, the shadow side of that, is that sometimes it's hard to recognize when things are just too damn much. And I also run into folks who are really afraid isn't the right word, reticent to invite other people into this struggle. They don't want to be a burden. They don't want to be vulnerable, and because they're the ones who've got their shit together, so they can't appear as if they don't have their shit together. This is why people come to therapy way, way late in the process, because I don't want to appear as if I don't have my shit together. I remember crying in my first therapy session and being just completely mortified that I cried. Meanwhile, I'm a therapist. I see people cry all the time. I don't know. Yeah, it's bizarre. But I encourage you to lean into your support system. Invite folks in. Now, what does that mean? Does it mean you need to be with a crowd of 30 people? No. If you're an introvert like me, 1, maybe 2 people is perfect. It's great. It's like the perfect amount of support. So that's what you need to focus on this month, is to be around folks who get you, who can support you, who are non-judgmental and safe. Okay. If you chose card number 3, you chose unrequited love. In a past life, you likely had an experience where literally you loved somebody who did not love you back. Now, what does that mean for this month? You could be literally having a struggle with your romantic partner, or you may be having a struggle trusting somebody whom you really need to trust. This is an example that I personally had. I had a fertility doc that was, this is written in Transcending Infertility. I call him Dr. Pompous because he knew everything there was to know about everything. And in the beginning, I was like, cool, I need somebody who knows everything about everything. But over time, I began to not trust his judgment and not to feel safe around him. So this wasn't a romantic relationship, obviously, but he was somebody that I absolutely needed to trust. I needed him in my corner. I did not trust that he was in my corner, and that was quite triggering for me. And so maybe even I've had a past life with unrequited love, but that made me go, I'm out. I'm out of here. And so, not that that means that your situation needs to be that, like I'm out of here, but really noticing, okay, what is the struggle here? I'm having trouble in this relationship, whether it's romantic or not. What is going on here, because I am being triggered and I need to settle my nervous system and think about this. This does not mean I'm out of here. necessarily. It means I need to look at this and process and perhaps talk to that person, invite them into this process to let them know that there's a struggle. And you may just heal that situation. There is something about remembering a past life that is, the research shows, is very healing. So I even encourage you to do a past life regression to see if you can connect really with that memory. But there is something for this month for you where you'll need to mend a relationship. This is a one-on-one relationship, does not need to be romantic, but it is a one-on-one relationship where trust is an issue. You're not trusting that this person is supportive enough for you. Okay, see, actually, all three of these cards are really related. That happened last month too. Interesting. All right, this is your oracle reading for November 2022, and I will see you next month. Take care. If you, oh yeah, oh yeah. Now this can mean one or two things. Oh my gosh. I forgot to talk about that. I even encourage you, did I already say this?